Yeah, we didn't turn. So if people are wondering right now, we didn't turn on Twitch alerts and everything like that during the show because we just thought it might be a little distracting.
Yeah.
So we just go through a bunch of them during the break. Sorry, I didn't get to everyone who did follow us between the 2 breaks, but next time I'll try to be a little more diligent about that. But let's go into some questions, shall we? Do we want to do that next?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see if I can do this here. Oops, that's video full screen.
So are we just doing what you're pulling up? Because I have stuff on my phone too.
Well, I mean, I figure.
Hey, they just announced a KOF exhibition with Sako, Justin Wong, Goichi, and Ogawa.
What?
And Ogawa.
Interesting.
I am intrigued.
Okay. Well.
Indeed.
So that's going to be interesting. So it's people who don't play KOF, basically.
did.
That's actually pretty smart.
Sako, Justin, Goichi, and Ogawa.
Sako,
who do you guys like?
Two.
Well, we should all pick a person.
Oh, okay. Wait, what was it? So it's Justin, Sako, Goichi, and
Ogawa.
Ogawa.
I like Goichi.
I'm going to say Sako. And I'm going to say Sako free.
What?
Free.
Free, huh?
Dude, but like this.
Alright, I'm gonna say Justin then.
Why?
Because Justin wins everything on the first day.
So
Well,
got
good luck with
Ogawa.
that.
Oh, he does actually do that a lot.
Yeah. So he has Ogawa.
He even did like at Street Fighter V at E3 when there was like the best
he
players in the
destroyed
world over there.
everybody.
Like Daigo and like everybody was there.
Yeah.
Justin Wong aced it.
So that's your reasoning, because he beats everybody on the first
First
day.
day, yeah,
typically does.
absolutely. And remember, he won like the 10,000 MK9 tournament,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he's amazing
He's
when the
pretty
game
ridiculous,
comes
sir.
out.
Go-
Goichi
even good
is
at
best
MKs,
at
so.
all the games.
So I like Goichi in part because he's good at everything. I like Sako because he's probably the most talented player of that bunch. And Justin Wong wins everything.
But you got Ogawa.
I got Ogawa because he's the 4th one left.
Well, that's not a bad pick.
No, it's not.
That is nowhere near. That dude has been dominant in a game for like 12, 15 years.
But a game, not multiple games.
It wouldn't make a difference.
I would like Miguel Calderon to expand on what Furia Tika is.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Well, let's see if Google.com knows. Capcom Pro Tour Qualifier.
Oh, we did not get to mention. So that is
Indeed, we
this
didn't
weekend.
mention it.
Awesome. We should do this Q&A session every time, so people can tell us what to talk about.
So apparently there's also a Hearthstone tournament. There's a League of Legends 1v1 tournament.
You can do that?
Has anybody been watching the International?
I've been watching.
There's also FIFA 2016. There's Magic the Gathering, Pokemon,
Where is Furia Tika
Just
taking
Dance,
place?
Oh yeah, they're gonna put.
Smash Bros. Wii U, Gear Xrd Revelator, and MKXL. That will be in San Jose, Costa Rica.
Nice. Okay, close. Oh, yeah, a bunch of U.S. players are flying out there.
Oh, right.
That's right. I heard Justin's going out there. Ricky's going out there.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, so there
There's
you go.
going to be some cosplayers who will be there.
Well, if
Radio Shack is supporting them.
I'm gonna say that Radio Shack still exists.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're in Costa
last
Rica.
time I was at the Radio Shack here in Santa Monica. Some guy was just standing there, and then all of a sudden he walks out the door, and one of the employees like, "Hey, you, come back!" and like chases him out the door because he saw that the guy put something under his jacket and walked out of the Radio Shack. And the guy eventually came back in. Apparently, he got into a fight, and like the guy like punched him or something like that.
Oh my God.
And it was
Radio
like,
Shack. Wild
Yeah.
place.
That's where I go when I like to party.
just don't want to go to Radio Shack.
Hey, so somebody asked, will you guys do a pre-Capcom Cup show with a resume of every player? Also-
We have in the past, I'm sure we would
Oh,
like
we
to.
did the World Warriors of Capcom Cup,
Yeah.
which essentially was that.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like we'll definitely talk about Capcom
Very
Cup,
much
right?
like to, yeah, of course.
all right. So Gibby says that he says everything. Oh no,
That's
that was
something about
early
it,
on. Okay. So Panamana, I can never pronounce this name right. Panamana just got into
Good try.
Skullgirls trial mode, and he's curious what you guys look for in good challenge trial modes. Practical combos, style. I like trial mode since I'm a big trial mode crazy guy. I like combos that in generally are actually useful.
Yeah.
But then also I like combos that show you stuff that you can do. That show you, look, we know that this is a cool thing that works. You can probably take this, run with it, and make it better, but here is a cool setup. So that's kind of something that I like.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay.
I like the. I mean, I've played like a lot of trial modes, and I'm sure you have too. So I do like how Guilty Gear has it set up, where they give you like you can understand everything in Guilty Gear just based off of the tutorial. Like you legit, if you go through that tutorial, you're gonna be like, I don't know what I'm missing now. And they have such a good range of tutorial mode combos and challenge mode combos that it goes from super practical to, man, I'm just trying to swag out. And
Well,
they actually have those, you know.
One of the questions we got was, Tasty Steve, what is the best way to get better at Guilty Gear if you don't have a competitive local scene?
Yo, I just answered your question. In all honesty, the tutorial mode gives you such a smooth grasp of the system that I feel like that's the first destination. If anybody that plays Guilty Gear and you haven't and you're interested in gear, start off playing the tutorial.
Dude, the tutorial is sick.
It's so good. It's really good.
It is good.
And on top of that, when you pause the game, even if you have questions in verses or anything, it actually gives you question it has an FAQ in the pause menu. So
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
so I don't see why. Like, I'm dead serious.
Like literally, it's like, what if I can't beat this person? Like, what do I do?
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
actually.
Oh,
has-
and that's another thing they have in Guilty Gear. They have character versus character specific trials. So like, let's just say there are mix-up situations that are very common, like with Bedman, they legitimately have a trial where it's like, do it 4 times. And then if you do or don't succeed, it'll say, hey, it's harder or easier to do this, XYZ, etc., etc., etc. It's really good. And once you get to that point, online's really good. Just start playing online. I mean,
Alright.
yeah.
Question for you: how do you feel about the idea that Smash players cannot play Street Fighter, and which game is most difficult to learn and play?
I think anybody can play anything.
Yeah, I don't
course,
think that's true
yeah.
at all. I
If
don't
you're a
think
top
it's true.
player at one game, you already have the tools to become a top player at anything else.
No.
Like, folks have switched from like StarCraft to like League of Legends and whatever. Like those are totally different genres even. So yeah,
Dude,
of course
I
it's
lost.
doable.
I was playing at the Pokemon Invitational. I played a kid who was a Pokemon card game TCG world champion, and he beat me. And he's never played fighting games. And then Spooky and them got really mad that I lost to him, and then I beat Spooky. But I'm just saying, the fact of the matter is, it's up for grabs. If you want to be good at it, you can definitely be good at it.
Oh, of course,
So
yeah.
if you play card games, you can beat Tasty Steve in fighting games. We learned that. Alright.
All right.
Good
So,
question.
since 3 new fighting games are coming out before next Evo, what games will be in the lineup?
Probably RIP and MKX because it's probably going to be
Injustice 2.
I mean, the NRS team probably can't support
both
2
games.
games at Evo. It's pretty unlikely. So
I think KOF will get put in there.
yeah, I would think KOF is in.
And Tekken 7 will still be there.
Yeah.
That's the new game you're talking
So
about.
definitely
right?
Street Fighter will be there. Maybe not Pokken.
I'm gonna say
Honestly,
Marvel might go away as well.
I'd be surprised.
I'm not surprised. If Marvel went away, I would not be surprised.
I'd be surprised if KI made it back.
I would go, yeah. So KI, Pokken, MKX, probably at least change. Maybe not Marvel. Maybe Marvel also not there. Yeah, I get it.
You
I
just
get
gonna
I
leave it
get
there? You gonna let it rock?
Tekken 7 on Sunday would be pretty sick.
That would
I
be
hope that it's on
ridiculous. Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah, that game's cool.
So, Mr. Shoegazer says that he notices in Street Fighter 5 that cross-ups are harder to block in this game. It seems like it's harder to anticipate on Wake Up. Any advice?
So there's the one situation that might be happening where if you're quick rising a lot, you might just be getting crossed up. But also, like, there's setups where if you back roll, the setup looks like it's gonna like hit one way, but because you back roll, your character model gets shifted backwards and you get hit. You just gotta look at each setup individually.
Yeah. Also, another thing too. I mean, you can't deny. Look, F-Champ basically tweeted out just recently. He was like, because of 8-frame lags, a lot of these mix-ups, just pick a side. You
guess,
can't
yeah.
react to it in time because there's that little extra frames of lag. Now, obviously, it's 3 frames extra of lag. Not huge, but I swear to God, I cannot uppercut anybody in this game. I just eat jump attacks to my face all the time. So there's definitely an effect to it, but
I find it easier to anti-air people in KI, which is like twice as fast as Street Fighter.
Right,
than it is in
exactly.
Street Fighter.
Well, that just lets you know how much it is based on the system and not just, the person playing the game.
so
But there are some setups though, like Chun-Li, I forget what the knockdown is, but then she does V-skill and then
That's
she
super.
yeah.
she
Super
does
and then V-skill.
Chun-Li, super V, yeah, okay. Where it really looks like she's hitting in front, but it's a cross-up. I don't
And
really
she
know why
lands
that
in the
is.
front.
I
Yeah.
don't really know that's
What
about.
you can do, I think probably the most important thing to do is look at the replay of your match, find out if the opponent had a setup, and then test the setup yourself.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that you can do. And Scott asks, obviously the #1 most famous fighting game video ever is the Daigo parry. What would you say is #2? I actually got into a fight with somebody on Twitter about this,
Oh.
but I would probably say the #2 one is probably the Wombo Combo video.
Oh yeah, probably yeah.
Wait, what?
What about, do you count like
the melee wombo combo?
Oh, yeah.
the Viscan versus Little Seer God thing's pretty popular.
Wait.
It has like a bajillion
that's
views on
true.
World Star.
That's
Wait,
true.
does Steve reacting to the White Ranger count as a fighting game video?
Oh man,
Because that's pretty high up there.
that's top 5.
That one is definitely like it has a bajillion views on World
Oh,
Star.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it has like 3 million or something.
I only remember that video when other people bring it up. I never remember.
That happened in your life.
How can you not remember that? That was
was in
such
your
a
life.
such a key video. That was a key moment in your life.
The most important moment in your life.
Let's see.
Somebody's asking us if we think No Man's Sky will be cool.
Dude, I'm afraid to play that game.
I'm with you, Steve.
I
I,
feel like I
have
would
not
get
bought it,
addicted.
and
So the reviews have been hit or miss, but
it
the
doesn't
things
even-
about it that I like
it doesn't even matter.
are there.
It doesn't matter.
Like,
Yeah.
can
I
I
like- I like
explore
it.
infinitely?
Yeah, dude.
To me-
They're saying there's like almost no chance of you running into somebody else.
Yeah.
Even though it's like an MMO, and I'm like, what?
Well,
It's
it is
like
pretty
sort of like
unlikely,
that.
but
So the thing about it is, to me, when I'm not playing fighting games, I want to play something that's super low brain power.
correct.
So where I just walk around and I do stuff. Like,
Same.
so if I'm playing fighting games or if I'm playing like Overwatch or something that's sort of competitive, then that's one thing. But when I'm playing like, when I'm like, all right, I've been traveling for 3 weeks straight and I have like a day off, I'm gonna do something that I can just chill.
Dude, I
and like
saw-
No Man's Sky is perfect for that.
I saw someone basically say that they were exploring the first planet that they found for like 3 hours and they didn't realize it, and they like had not even left that planet.
And that's
yet.
the first planet. That's
I'm
probably like
telling
the
you,
most
man.
I'm
boring
like
planet.
terrified.
That's so dangerous.
That is
It's so
dangerous.
dangerous.
Steve, what happened? I come back like, No Man's Sky, and I just faint and die. Like this is.
I've been playing something called Space Engine for like whatever since it
Yeah,
came out.
yeah.
It's like 1.5 2 years ago now, something like that. And it's there's no story or anything. It's not even a game. It's just a space simulator, and like it just randomly creates worlds and galaxies, and you explore everything. And every little point of light is actually a star you can go to. It's crazy. And so sometimes
That
I
is
just
ridiculous.
zone out on this. So the point is, even if No Man's Sky had zero story at all,
Yeah.
I would get sucked into it. There's
So
nothing I can do.
I saw the screenshot of this guy who was just sitting on a planet, and you could see 3 planets on the horizon. Like the planet has 3 moons, and I was like, you can go to each one of those moons, and they are their own planet.
That's
that
ridiculous.
exists.
It's dangerous.
And I was
Same.
like, man, that is yeah,
And
it's
like
super dangerous.
even the
I was like, that's a bad
transition
look.
of it happening and you leaving.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's
like
ridiculous.
that's how Space Engine is. When you're on a planet, right? Right now, I've been rotating this planet that has a sick volcano, and there's like Aurora Borealis, and you can see the sun, and there's all these stars in the background. There's moons, and the moons cast shadows on the planet, and you can all of those are real. You can go to any of them.
I want to know if like when you go to a planet, can you just land on a planet that like literally has no life? It's just
Yeah.
like a barren
Yeah.
planet.
And
Oh,
in
okay.
No Man's Sky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Same
Well,
as Space
I actually ran into the team at E3 last year, and like I recognized him like, oh man, I cannot wait to play you guys' game. And then like the guy didn't have he had like a 5 o'clock shadow, and I just saw him recently, and he had like a massive beard.
Yeah.
And he's just like, video games, dude. Obviously, he's still been working on this game like a man.
Well, SDR Cast is taunting us because they say that they have key lime pies, and we're just eating lemon chiffon cake. But
What's
you
the
know,
I prefer
Conceitos.
cake.
I don't know. What that
I'm not
is.
even a big pie guy, and
yeah,
I'm kinda,
I
and
don't like
frankly,
pie
I
that
like the
much.
lemon chiffon cake better. Anyway,
and this has
so-
strawberries in it.
And you
Yeah.
guys all suck, so.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So shout outs to them.
Oops, okay. So Ace King offsuit, great person there. So this weekend is also the Young Chen, I guess, Cup, Furia Tika, and the Europe CBT online event. So, and Well Played Cup. So shout outs to City Hunter for letting us know.
That's it. Thanks for the
some more
question.
Stuff. Do you think that Anti has bridged the gap between Smash and FGCV with recent events?
You beat some random online player.
Look, I'm just gonna say this much. I've been having conversations with some Smash players online recently,
Yeah.
and I'm actually starting to believe that the two scenes might not be compatible. Actually, I'm actually kind of starting to believe that in a weird way. Maybe one of these days we can get. Maybe next week if we have no topic, I'll be glad to expand on that thought
Understand.
process.
I don't
So.
think I agree with that. I have a lot of guys that I've known for years that only play Smash, and they're really good at every game. that
Oh
they
yeah,
play.
yeah. No. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not saying that they can't. Obviously
Yeah.
they can't. But like, I'm starting to understand why they want their rules so different than all the rules that we have.
Okay.
So, but maybe we can talk about that in a future episode.
Sure.
So, So Jeremy Vicious is telling us that David eats almost everything.
That's not
And that,
accurate at all.
$10 going to the feed here so that he's gonna eat dog food or cat food or something like that.
Look, man, if you can find kosher cat food or dog food, because that's the thing, I don't eat anything. A very strict set of rules, in fact.
It's part of the other tweet. I have some tweet questions.
Well, I mean, do we want to go in order or?
Oh,
or
I
do
was
we
just
do
I'm like looking at the Twitter feed on my phone.
Ultra Chen TV Twitter,
Yeah.
so I'll get to them eventually.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 3 things to look on how to apply pressure in fighting games.
Depends on the game.
Well,
That's
that's
very
true.
I think the best thing to do, or for me, is like you go for your safest option first, and then you adapt from there depending on how they deal with it. So that's like when I run pressure, like I do the simplest, safest thing, and then just see how they deal with it, and then I'm like,
Right.
all right, and then that's how I continue from there.
So my philosophy is, I guess it's quite different. I'll go for the wildest stuff. The first mix-up, it's the wild stuff.
Are you playing music?
What's going on there?
Sorry.
What's that even from?
It's from the. It's this hasn't ever stopped. So.
Oh.
That's
Oh,
been so
I
long,
see.
so.
Anyway, I go for the wild stuff first, unless I know it's somebody who thinks that I know what's going on, in which case I feign like I'm gonna do the wild stuff, and then I do the most basic thing possible, just to like complete the little circle.
Well, I feel like
I always start out, when I'm playing somebody for the first time, and they're doing something, some setup, I always block cross up. 100%, I always block cross up. Because I know. They're like, this is Ultra David, I gotta do my cool stuff. I know.
yeah.
Dude, one
That's
time.
the worst feeling in the
Dude,
world.
there was
And
one.
then I'm like, yeah, blocked it, and then I get some
Dude,
cool
one
stuff.
time, Martin came over was when Justin was living with me, and he played Viper against me, and he did something, and he reset me in the air to some sick cross-up burn kick, meaty burn kick that I had never seen before, and I blocked it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "How the hell did you block that?" And I was like, "You reset me out of the air. I figured you were gonna do something
You
fancy."
got some trick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And I
Come
blocked
on.
it. He was really mad about that. 'cause
Whatever.
He was like so ready to show it off, and I blocked it.
50-50, I mean.
That's...
It's not even 50-50.
See, this-
It's like 80-20 because it's
Look,
Marn
James,
and
the
two.
first time, if I were Martin there, the first time I did that reset, I definitely would have done a normal jump in. Because
Yeah,
I know that I know you're looking for that.
Right,
I know.
right.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
I know, baby. You're not gonna.
But in my opinion, when basically on learning how to apply pressure, is really just learning what the opponent's character's reach is, what your reach is. So like I did that whole thing with like picturing the screen as boxes. Like here's the danger zone of getting into this person's space, and then they can control this space. Like Dawson has the fireball, so you kind of picture this box up there, and etc. That's kind of how you want to know. You want to know where you can apply that pressure versus where they can apply your pressure. And so that does take knowing the opponent characters. Otherwise,
Sure.
it's too hard. So
Gotta know the game and characters first.
where can I find this podcast that you mentioned? So if you want to listen to our stuff on podcast, you can actually go to iTunes and look up Ultra Chen TV, and it'll show up as a podcast. And all of our episodes go there, so you can subscribe to it. David continues to put out our stuff on audio format on iTunes.
You can also go to soundcloud.com/UltraChenTV.
Will you guys do? Oh yeah, okay. So we already talked about this. We'll show a resume, but are we hype about Luke Cage,
Dude, hell yeah.
dude?
So have you guys seen the trailers for Luke Cage?
Dude, I've seen like 3 of them now. Like, and
They just came out with a new one today.
yeah, I saw it, and it just like it. I was like, dude.
Once I heard like the soundtrack is a. Oh man, I can't remember the names. It's every episode is named from a rap group song. Something Star, Gangstar. Every episode of Luke Cage is a Gangstar song.
Yeah,
And that
the title
is
of the
so
episode. Yeah.
sick to me. Like I think that is crazy.
Dude,
but
that thing looked so good, dude. That thing, like, but it's just weird because it's like I'm watching it. And it's like the man is invincible. Like, how is he even gonna be able to get stopped or anything?
well,
like
you have
that,
to,
so.
and then they showed they even like in the newest trailer they gave an ode to his old trailer where he was just regular Power Man and he had the silver
yeah?
bracelets on. Dude, so sick. Yeah, I'm like City Hunter. I'm super hyped.
What is
I
that?
don't know what that is.
Even
Like a cat.
It's a tiny little cat.
Aww.
Didn't really show up very well.
So when is the Ultra Chen TV Royal Rumble King of Games gonna happen?
Wow, yo,
King
you
of
said,
Games.
yo, he said King of Games, so that means Yu-Gi-Oh has to be in there.
I thought we were gonna do like a tag. Were we gonna do a tag team, or are we gonna do it individual?
Well, we can just do like Mario Party and then like everyone.
When
wants
are we
to
gonna
kill
do
each
this?
other.
I'm down, but he said King of Games, so
Let's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
do Mario Party.
Mario Party's
Party?
a good start.
Yeah,
Championship
Mario
of
Party.
Universe.
But we need to do other things
Championship
like
of the
like
Universe.
like
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Video Ball.
Oh, what the
Video
hell?
Ball would be
Gang
good.
Clans
Video
or Gang
Ball.
Beasts or whatever.
Cinco
it
no
is.
Ronde.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff that we can do. We just haven't done it yet.
We gotta
so,
set a day up.
Yeah,
We're gonna make it happen.
Should be soon.
We have to. So
Talk
we already
about
talked
No
about
Man's
No Man's Sky. And
Let's say
Filament wants to take on. What's your take on FGC commentary compared to that of other esports like Dota 2, Rocket League? What we are good / bad at, etc.
Well, we kind of touched on this. When he said this, I instantly thought about when you were saying that it kind of goes into a different field when it comes to us as opposed to them. Because, one, a lot of the games, they have a lot more drawn out time to explain what's going on. I
Much
feel
more
like,
explanatory.
yeah, so it's, I feel like that's one
And they
of the
also
major
have to
points.
because the games aren't as like cut and dry. It's like
Things are
really-
happening, 1,000 feet away in the game that you can't
Yeah.
see at the time. So you have to be able to narrate things, and you have to be able to pick out one thing to talk about rather than the 18 other things that are happening simultaneously.
Yep.
So those are all different. We don't really need those skills for the most part. Like there are some situations, like in maybe Marvel or like Smash Doubles or something, but for the most part, we don't really need to do that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of times where I'm watching like a StarCraft game and I'm like, I legit, because I like StarCraft. I love StarCraft, but on the same note, like me trying to commentate it is completely different because it's going to be a lot harder to tell people what's going on and why they're doing it, as well as gauging the amount of time that I have to tell that information to the person that's listening.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I feel like it wouldn't be ridiculously hard, but I feel like the minute you go to a different genre of game, it becomes its own kind of monster.
I mean, like
I feel that much like with we're talking about Smash players being good at Street Fighter or vice versa. Once you become, I think, strong in commentating one game, I'm sure that you could learn to do the same in other games. But I at least haven't had to develop skills like being able to pick out what one hero is doing versus what the 7 others or whatever. I don't even know how many are in Dota, honestly. I have no idea now. I don't know how to do that. Like, I think I could make it up. I think I could learn it, but I've never had to learn it.
Yeah.
So I'd have to work at that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I had, for example, when we were in our Splatoon phase, and we were always like, I want to commentate Splatoon. I've actually, like, while playing or just, like, watching Splatoon, like, I've thought about it, like, how I would approach it, and it's hard because I haven't done it yet. And so, like, I'm not sure, like, what are the key things to point out? What are the interesting things to, I do think that different games will be kind of challenging, but, like you said, you can apply that knowledge and then
Yeah.
take the skill that you have learned and basically wrap it around that information that you need to give out.
I do think that fighting game commentary is stronger at the speed of it and at knowing how and when to give up on an idea in favor of whatever new stuff is going on. That's something we have to do so constantly. And about how to do play-by-play without just base narration. It's not valuable to say that there was just an uppercut or something. Everybody can see that, but it's like he did an uppercut in order to retain positioning or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like to have that extra bit of something else in there rather than just the base level. So
I'm going to put just another 10 minutes left, or 5 minutes. Let's just do 5
Sure.
minutes left of questions.
Do until
here,
10
so.
o'clock.
yeah, I just ended at 10.
Okay, so we're not going to get through all the questions. So if you're thinking of sending more questions, please do not, because we will not get to those questions.
Yeah, man, StarCraft is very fast at times. There are definitely
Yeah.
moments where you have to be quick about it and you have to know what's switch, but you also get a ton of time to finish full thoughts. Like
Well, at the start, especially, because they're just like,
You were talking about
And the
build paths
thing-
and stuff
and
like
the
that.
thing
they
about,
have
like,
to fill a lot of
StarCraft,
time.
it's
Actually,
like-
something else they have to do.
There's a lot that you don't, it's like, unless you get to see everything, there's stuff that you don't get to see unless you're paying attention to somebody else. Like, so it's like, unless you're like dual monitoring, being like, okay, that guy did this. It's just like you're playing the game as well. Then I feel like it's a completely different thing at that, because then you're paying just as much attention
Yeah.
as the people playing, and that means manning cameras and the whole
Oh,
nine.
they have observers typically. Who
Yeah,
are
there's
handling
somebody
it.
who does that. Yeah.
Okay.
But in fighting games, like we have to break down what's happening here and the little micro decisions that's going on. But there isn't like the whole macro decision making as much. Like in League of Legends, you're talking about why teams are moving in different positions
Yeah.
and like why this is happening all over the map. But it's not so much in fighting games. Like those kind of decisions are like, what's his game plan? Or like like what's your game plan as a character?
I mean,
as opposed to like what's the game plan for this character in this team of 5
Yeah,
in this particular like team order or whatever it is. Like
the nice
it's a little
thing
different.
is there are some long cons in fighting games that you can talk about between games. But yeah, you're right. Like if we commentated League of Legends like we did fighting games, it's just like when two heroes meet up, we'd be like, "Oh, look at that! Check this out!" And then
he does this.
Right, we have to know all the move names,
yeah.
of course.
Like
but
when I watch League, and for example, like in top lane, right? Like they're both dancing around, playing footsies basically,
Yeah.
right? They're both, though they don't speak about it in the same way that we would speak about that. We would be talking about all the little decisions. That's not what they do. They talk much more generally,
Right.
and just there's more. I find that there's
a lot
more
more
generalities.
left.
There's
Yeah.
There's more like macro stuff.
there's more like, oh yeah, they're
Like
moving
not to say
around
that
in
it's
the top
vapid or
lane.
anything, but like it's just not as focused on the details.
They have to fill a lot of time too, because
Yeah,
the games
yeah.
take for like that's like a 40-minute game, so you can't explain like the intricacies for 40 minutes.
And and I can tell you right now, fighting games kind of give you you can tell like that's what's really good about like Street Fighter and stuff because you're looking at the music. You're looking at the life bars, you're looking at the meter they have left, and it's easy. It's our job to convey, like you said, those micro decisions to say, well, why would you do this as opposed to this? The music gets heightened, the life bar goes in. Like there's so much that goes into it that it's kind of self-explanatory, but on the same note, being able to convey that to somebody is the hard part.
All right.
Thoughts on how to keep motivation to continue playing, practicing when you hit a plateau. This is for a small local scene.
Always tough. Always a tough thing to do, and it's the hardest thing about it is that you don't know what it is that you're supposed to improve. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the most difficult thing, and it's hard without knowing the person or like what you've hit a plateau about. I feel like that kind of thing is hard to give advice on, because
It's different for everybody.
yeah, it's really different for everybody. Is it strategic? Is it execution? Like what part of the strategic or executional game?
It could be overplaying,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
playing too much, so you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Most of the time, I recommend like stepping back and trying to watch more of your footage or get outside people to look at what you're doing if you can. Like if you have gameplay footage of yourself and having other people just post it on a forum or on like Reddit or something like that. And then maybe taking a break or something.
Someone
So I
actually,
recommend.
we were having this conversation about like having people continue to play after they lose a lot. And someone actually, I forgot, was it like Filipino man or might have been Logan? Somebody was like, people would almost rather eat their own vomit than watch their own matches where they lose, and,
You
and
have
it's
to.
kind of
It's
true.
tough. It's
You know,
tough.
it is hard. It is hard. You know what? I don't do it. I don't watch my matches that
I
I
do.
lose
I watch
because
I do.
I do.
Yeah,
I just
I
like to
don't-
watch all the commentary. I do.
yeah,
same.
I get like
Gotta do
terrified
it.
by that. I get terrified
You
by
I'm
gotta-
that.
like,
you
man,
gotta
I'm
do
a
it.
moron. Why would I even say that out loud on commentary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I put
for
it
sure
on
that,
YouTube
yeah.
for
Yeah.
5,000 people to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Exactly.
you do, we do, but we just don't put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
But
Listen to myself, I'm like, why would you say that? Don't touch your hair, you touch your hair.
being somebody that
Oh, God.
came from a smaller scene, like a large amount of my gear knowledge comes from 3 people, myself included. So it was me, it was my friend Rob, it was my friend Aaron, aka Guilty Gear, Dio, and his name is Pro. I remember one time, and this doesn't even only extend from Guilty Gear. I remember Tekken 5 came out, and me and him, we went back once the game came out. We played 500 matches of King versus Raven, like back to back. Did not leave. Got the game, 500 matches. I swear to God. And then we caught the bus. We went to the arcade, and we started spending money to play on the arcade. Like a part of that is being able to bounce off the people that you play with. So even if your scene is small, like are you beating the crap out of them? And even if you are beating the crap out of them, did you do everything the way you wanted to do it? Did it play out exactly how you wanted to? I feel like it's definitely levels to leveling up your scene. So even if you're really good, me beating the crap out of everybody I play with is not me being good. That's me being selfish. Because if the person I'm playing with isn't as good, if you're not going back and forth, you're not sharing ideas, you're not critiquing, telling somebody what they're doing wrong, I feel like you're bottling everything that could grow from just your scene. And this is coming from somebody who, like I said, my scene was small. We had to branch out and travel together, like, to go to see where we were. And I feel like you play with the people that you play with your group as much as you can, and then you guys branch out. Whether it's traveling together or you guys meeting up with other people and playing, and you use those as tests. That's what we did. So
The other thing that I'll just add on to that is that you know, I've talked about this in old First Attack episodes before, but there's always those walls that you hit. It always takes an epiphany to get past the wall, and that's always the hardest part, because when you hit an epiphany, like if here's one wall, here's the next wall, and you're stuck on this wall, the time it takes to get from the wall break to the next wall is like nothing. But then the time you spend sitting at the next wall is like eternity. The only thing I could recommend is just that if you have broken those walls before, think back when you've had those epiphanies and all of a sudden something makes sense. And if you could remember how good that felt and just like, you know what, dude, like everything changed when I learned this.
Yeah.
Like if you can remember how good that felt, that might be the motivation to keep you going when you hit another plateau. And just understand that's just going to keep happening. Even some of the best players out there, they hit another plateau, and then that's why they're not at that Daigo level or at that Justin level. They can't win big majors, but they're always a threat, but they can't win it. Like, I would say that maybe like 0.5% of the players that are playing out there have no more plateaus to hit. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a plateau.
Yeah.
I also feel that, at least personally, that I find I have more breakthroughs when I'm talking about stuff. Or when I'm like vocalizing it, or writing as well. But if I'm trying to explain something, then I learn more about it while I'm doing it. Like even without playing a game, I'll be like explaining some concept, and I'm like, that was exactly right. I can't believe I just came up with that. Like,
you know,
I can't even tell you how many times that's happened.
Or like I've watched, like I'm like struggling with some particular character or matchup or something, and then I'm like watching someone else, and I'm like, man, all he has to do to beat that is do this, and then I'm like, oh my god, that's all I have to do to beat that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, such a moron. How did I not think about that?
Dude, I was playing Street Fighter Online just recently again, and I was playing against someone, and they had full meter, and they were down to a little bit of life, and I had this giant chunk of life left, and there was like 40 seconds left on the clock, and I started attacking him, and all I could hear was myself on commentary going, "Why is he attacking me? Why?" And I just ran away. And I basically timed it out, and I won that way. And I was like, okay, there you go. So it's exactly the same situation. Yeah, exactly.
I'm the out loud guy. Like, a lot of people have seen this. Like, if I'm playing in my room or just somebody else, I talk to myself out loud. And Pat the Flip was there once, and he was just like, Steve talks to himself like a Pokemon. So I was like, Steve, what are you doing? He just keeps jumping. You're gonna let him? Why don't you DP him? Why don't you DP him, Steve? Let's go back. You know,
that's why I do this commentary on commentary thing on YouTube, because I need to be talking about it in order for me to like have as much benefit as possible.
Now I'm just gonna picture you sitting there playing the game going, tasty, tasty, Steve.
Tasty,
Steve. Tasty.
When we play each other,
you know,
there's like a ton of talking, but we're not talking to
we're
each
not
other.
talking to each other.
I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, oh, that setup, it's there. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And I'm like, also, we could probably do this, huh? And then this guy is just like, oh my god. You know, just says something like, man, that was so stupid of me.
That actually kind of sounds how when James and I play.
Dude,
we're not talking to each other at all.
I'm like whining the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're whining, and I'm like, maybe I could have done X or Y.
Right, yeah. No, because like when I played my friend who we played Guilty Gear all the time, literally you could tell how mad we were because I got louder when I got mad and he got quieter.
Yeah.
Like he was one of the guys that when he started getting really mad, he would like, you could just, it was like silence from him. And so like it was always weird. Like you could tell when we were at our angriest because I was the only one making noise because I was just like, this is so stupid. Yeah, I hate Zappa, you know?
When you get into those super long sets where neither of you are having fun anymore, you're both just angry. You're both just pissed.
You gotta see, that's a wall. It's not
break
real.
it.
I swear to God, I'm telling you right now. I do not care how many times I lose. I'm gonna sit there until you tell me, hey, I'm done.
I turned on his stream today and he got 2-0'd and then was like, run it. I need one more. And I was like, that's the first thing I saw. Like, give me another game right now. And
well, look, in my house, if anybody ever comes over to my house, the rule of Steve's place is you get only one run back. That's it. Unless there's only 2 people playing, you get 1 running back.
Unless it's me, then I get as
No,
many
I'm
runbacks
dead
as I
serious. I hold
takes
it.
100 running
I
backs.
hold it. I swear to God, I hold it. But that's just the way it is. I feel like if you tell somebody they only get 1, I guarantee you there will be not that many
the
running backs.
worst
You got
is-
like 3
okay,
at Wizard
Look,
World.
I'm gonna
is true.
tell you
That's
this
true.
right now.
But no
That
one
is the
was around.
worst thing about playing against Mr. Wizard in any. Like, you could ask anybody who's visited him. You will play a long set with him, and at the very end, he's like, "All right, 2 out of 3, King of the World," and like
Yeah,
he wins
champion
that
of the
like
universe.
90% of the
Yo,
time.
I always
because-
do that too. I always want to have the king of the universe.
That's
Yeah.
lame. That
Slayer,
sucks.
everybody knows, anybody who's ever played Slayer, well, you'll play like a first to 50, and then you'll be like, all right, 3 out of 5 tournaments,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
champion of the
uh-huh,
universe.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta end it like that.
Yeah,
Yo, me and
that's the way it
Sanchez
goes.
was playing KOF at the house till like 7 a.m. one time.
Yeah.
Legit, like from like 8 to like 7 a.m. And he's like, well, we gotta go to work in the morning. Good games.
Yeah.
King of the, first
dude,
king
I
of the
wonder
universe.
how
you know?
many people in the chat have actually had this. So, like I said, me and my friend, we played Guilty Gear. There were days when I would show up at his house at like 1 p.m. and then it would be till like 11 p.m. or maybe like midnight when we finally get up. And dude, it hurts to stand up
Oh,
after
yeah,
playing
dude.
on the floor for that long and stuff like that.
My
Like,
body shuts down.
yeah, like I don't know if people have experienced that weird, like
I bet
my
everybody
legs
has.
don't work, you know,
I bet
kind of
everybody's
thing.
been
So
there. I bet
Yeah.
I know. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
we totally run out of time.
yeah, next time when we do question Q&A like this, let's put timer on each question.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Good
a
idea.
minute.
But we're
30
done,
seconds,
and
something
even
like
though we
it's
have
four
like
of us.
we have like
5
40
minutes.
more questions,
Good.
but
that. That could be a.
we
I
have like
might,
40.
I might go and answer some of them. Like, someone asked me my top 5 for KI, I'll go do that. I've been meaning to make a tier list. I should probably just do that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well,
Sounds good.
thanks for hanging out for now. Again, we're doing this thing now where if you follow, we're gonna play a ridiculous thing. You want to just do it?
I can do it really quick. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
This
So
is,
now we're still alive. This is not cut out. or
well, I
anything.
mean, I can.
Since
I
you
can,
have it set up now, when I stream on the channel, I could use it too.
yeah, I'll just give you the URL for it.
Oh
and
yeah, I
everything
got
like
yeah.
that,
Please
so,
please pass that around.
so-
So anyway,
It's so easy to set up.
give us a
Yeah.
follow or a
So
subscribe.
let's see. So for example,
I've never said that before. It feels weird. It feels weird. Oh, yo, it's right here. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
right on your face.
So 30 minutes ago, Dog Dealer XPN followed us. Beretta Now followed us.
This is gonna be a lot.
We need like a gif of each of us at least.
Oh yeah, for
you guys,
sure.
You guys gotta give me
I need-
something. I'll make a gif of it.
I need
Oh
hair or
dude,
finger
guess who
guns.
just followed us right now?
Ringe?
Ringe just followed us right
Wow,
now.
late
so-
to the party as usual.
And if anybody wants to sub to our channel, they can see the sub animation as well.
Well, James, that would be something. Only somebody who's a true genius and appreciates
And
the hard
a
work.
true hero
that
would
people put in.
actually subscribe to us.
Apparently, you unfollowed and refollowed to test it.
So he's a
No,
dirty
no, no, no,
cheater.
no, no, no. I accidentally clicked it even though he followed, so it came up twice.
Oh.
That was
No,
my
he
bad.
says he unfollowed and everything.
Oh,
he
really?
says.
Oh, I
You
see you. I see
cheating
what he's
son
saying.
of a-
Oh, okay.
What a
so he
butthole.
cheated.
Never trust the Marvel commentator. That's
Yeah.
what I always say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure I saw this guy just follow a while ago, so.
Well,
Whatever. All right,
Yeah.
man. Thanks for hanging out with us for a while. We're trying to keep the show to 2 hours or
An hour and
under
a half.
that. Well, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, it does that.
But ideally, between that, hour and a half, kind of.
Wait. Someone just subbed to us.
Did
Oh,
they?
okay.
I think
Do,
so.
do your thing.
It should come up automatically, right? Since
I
they just.
think
Oh, look
so.
at all the.
There's been so
Look at all
much.
this.
Dude, look at that. There's
There's
just
so
a lot
much.
of it. There's a lot of it. I don't know. It says just subscribed up there, but I don't see the sub.
Oh, the
there we go.
subscription. The,
There we go.
Hey, James, you know what would be really funny?
you need audio
What's
on that.
that?
Is if you made each GIF of us on top of our place where we sit during, like, what if that Steve one was right here?
It should
Dude,
be.
you know what?
That's, come on.
It's not possible.
Oh, really?
It's not going to be possible because you have to put one URL
Yeah.
and it's going to show up on all of them.
Dang.
So
Can you
no
just
matter-
react? Do you have the reactions to drag it over Steve's face when it comes
Dude,
up?
I could, like 100%. I could, like I could just be like, boop.
Ooh,
Now
and then
it's
just
over,
put it over
Steve.
Steve.
So like if someone subs to us, like
Where's
for
it?
example,
It was
here.
up there.
Yeah.
There it is.
And now it's on Steve. Oh, and you're just doing this? Oh, that's so sick.
Dude, I would have to have I would have to have
That'd be
reactions.
tough. That'd be tough. Or how about this? each show, it's a different person's GIF who does the thing, and
That's
you
really
just
good.
establish it at the start. Like, hey, today's James.
Yeah, we could 100%
You
do
just
that.
put it on
We
in
can
front of
have-
James.
And actually, hey, look, I'm gonna ask everybody. So, for you guys out there who have been watching Ultra Chen for a really long time, if there is a specific GIFable moment that you guys can remember that you would like us to look for, you know, please let us know. Like, I really want a David leaning eyebrow thing.
I did that like 3 times this episode.
Yeah.
I
so-
really want your hug with Eris's one.
Yeah.
That should definitely be one.
Okay,
But I
can
want
do
you,
that.
I want like finger guns. You gotta do like finger guns, like, you know, at the screen one of these days or something like
Well,
that.
why don't you just do it right now? Just look at the screen and do it.
That's terrifying.
Needs more action.
Do you,
I
want,
know.
do you want that to be it? Come on, man. You gotta be.
It's
gotta get in the moment here.
It's got to be natural.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I see. I know that. I was about to say, man, you're on the spot. That's what
Yeah,
you're gonna
it's
do.
hard to do. Whoa, that was terrifying. He just shot me though. That was so sick.
James is currently shooting.
He's like, shoot,
Steve
this is hard to
from
do,
behind
though.
the camera.
All right, I got him.
Human shield,
I
baby.
think I
You just
won.
gonna take that?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah.
But I think
What are you new here?
I had to give him the inspiration, the proper
Well, you
inspiration.
know what? We'll
for
get
the
it one of
finger
these
gun,
days.
so-
All right. Anyway, these are the ideas that we're talking about. Hopefully, we'll nail all these things down.
We'll
Thank-
solidify it.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Keep that fork to yourself.